Yeah, you saying these names are fake?
The giant shark, Fat. That's Shaquille O'Neal. Like, really? That's his name.
Yeah.
I don't.
I think they're just looking at the person. They're just making the name up
Klay
at that
Thompson,
point.
the Buddha. Is that like a peaceful thing? Like, why do they
Because he's
call him?
quiet.
I guess.
That's what I said. I think they're just looking at the names and then they're just making names.
MJ, gang boss. He must have lost on black. That's it. Don't want to see MJ lose on black. And gang boss comes out.
The thing is, Scottie Pippen,
Yeah.
second best under heaven.
Yeah. So I guess MJ's heaven.
But it's
He's gang boss.
So like,
he's game boss.
so like MJ's God and like Scotty's like Jesus Christ.
The best Chinese nickname is one that's not on this list.
I feel like it's going to be you. What was your nickname?
What was your Chinese nickname?
Deja Jun,
Which translates to?
the Grand General. So I'm Agent Zero out here. I'm the Grand General out there.
They never called you Hibachi over there.
The Grand General. Hibachi's Japanese.
Japanese, yeah. But I just wonder if it maybe somehow carried over.
The Grand General, baby.
Welcome back to Out of Bounds. I'm Pierce Simpson. On today's episode, we'll recap the Cleveland Cavaliers advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals after they swept the number 1 seed Toronto Raptors. So for all the Toronto fans that are tuning in or probably not tuning in, y'all have a good one. I'm joined here by Complex Sports editor, Mr. Adam Caparell. Adam, we talked about Chinese nicknames for NBA players. What will yours be? The betting loser. I'm losing money.
All right, that's where we're going there. All right, let's move on. Let's move on.
Next, Adam Caparell, the Grand General. Was that it?
The Grand General, baby.
The Grand General, Mr. Gilbert Arenas. Gil, how you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling good.
Feeling good? Mm-hmm. You okay?
I feel like we all got on windbreakers and it's fucking hot.
Yeah, we didn't orchestrate this.
Yeah.
It's summertime.
It looked like we're about to invade somebody or something. I don't know.
You guys on 2.
Wow.
Now I got a flannel underneath.
Oh, okay.
I like to layer up.
Wealthy. Must be somebody wants some money. Somebody wants some money.
For a change, apparently, according to
It'll
you
be
guys.
100 degrees outside today.
But of course, fellas, we have to recap last night's game. The first game of the playoff schedule was the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers as the Boston Celtics looked to sweep the Sixers, but Philadelphia had other things on their mind. The Sixers beat Boston 103-92 to avoid elimination and head things back to Boston. Dario Saric led all scorers with 25 points. TJ McConnell started in the backcourt, which was a change in the series so far. And Ben Simmons helped out with 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Joel Embiid had 15 points, 13 rebounds, and got into a little skirmish with Terry Rozier. Now that the Philadelphia 76ers staved off elimination so far, and game 5 is heading back to Boston. Do you think the young players of Philly kind of figured it out and got things back on track?
I mean, they won one game. I mean, we can call it kind of a series now, you know.
That's debatable, though.
But at the end of the day, I mean, they still got a big uphill battle.
Yeah,
You
to come back from 3-0.
Yeah, now you're going to Boston and you gotta.
Yeah, you gotta prove it.
I mean, you got everything is elimination after this point.
You have to win.
You gotta play the same energy. You gotta get it up another notch. You got to get it up another notch. I mean, just 4 games going 4 games is hard.
That's very difficult.
But if you take one game at a time,
exactly,
it should be doable.
I mentioned TJ McConnell scoring 19 points. That was a career high. Scoring 19 points. Obviously, Brent Brown made an adjustment in the starting lineup to put him in. Do you think this is the spark plug that Philly needs to hopefully win the series?
TJ McConnell?
Yeah, probably
no,
not.
but it was a good spark plug for Game 4. I mean, we also saw Ben Simmons perform better than he has the entire series.
Yeah.
But the biggest things to me was that the Celtics didn't play that well. Whistles went against them. They had massive amount of foul trouble across the board. They got multiple techs, which screwed them over big time and kind of stunted their momentum, I think, in the second half. And, Brad Stevens, who has clearly outcoached Brett Brown in this series, didn't have the upper hand this game because of Brett's move with TJ McConnell, how that worked out. And just the fact that the Celtics didn't play well in the paint, which is what Stevens kind of emphasized most of the season, especially in this series. So I chalk this more up to just a crappy performance from the Celtics. And yeah, the Sixers got their shit together for one game. Yeah. But do I have any, confidence that this is going to continue for a Game 6 and Game 7? No, hell no.
You said Brad Stevens is smart, right?
Yeah.
Why does he have Jaylen Brown on the bench for Marcus Smart?
Well, Jaylen was in foul trouble today.
Yeah.
No, he started him.
Point guard play. Marcus Smart is your.
So you want to see Marcus Smart starting?
No, Marcus Smart did start.
But he's essentially
so you want Jaylen
the point guard in that offense.
But he's not as good as Brown.
No.
So it's like,
can Brown handle the ball?
I mean, Marcus Smart has been out the first round in a few games of this one, and they've done fucking amazing, right? What's the point of changing it up? I mean,
I think you have a good point. I see where you're coming from.
Like, I mean, Marcus Smart is not a guy that I'm like, I'm going to take out a future
Yeah.
future all-star 4.
Exactly,
at this
especially
point.
when you have a guy that's already handling the ball in the backcourt with Terry Rozier,
Yeah.
who's been playing excellent this series. I thought Amina Hassan, who joined the show last week, made a great point about the Philadelphia 76ers, the fact that Joel Embiid didn't seem like himself in the first few games. He wasn't talking trash. He wasn't being animated with different players. But in Game 4 last night, we saw him being very animated, and he got into a little skirmish with Terry Rozier, but he also got into argument with Marcus Morris, who was caught just doing this to him. 3-0. 3-0. Marcus was caught after the game, and he had this to say. I know I wouldn't say a damn word if I was down 3-1, but hey, we're all different. Joel Embiid kind of alluded to Terry Rozier also trying to punch him during their little skirmish in the game. Do you think Joel Embiid has this chip back that can allow him to just beast them?
I mean, this is what we fell in love with him for, that, he played, he talked shit, that he, it brought out the best in him.
Yeah.
And the fact that he wasn't doing it in this round.
Do you think it was just the moment was too big?
I'm probably sure someone got into his ear, said, we need to take it serious. And, one of those things, and it kind of fucked him up a little bit.
Or did the NBA get in the ear of the officials with all the whistles that were blown against the Celtics? Mr. NBA conspiracy theorist.
Look what you're doing.
Hey, Sixers Celtics, good for ratings, right?
Look what you're doing.
Is it?
It's two East Coast squads that are like old school, rivalry and stuff like that, and two, up and coming squad that a lot of people have been interested to see play this year. And the Celtics who have a huge fan base.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so much for that.
Well, why? Very good point. Well, while that series is still going on, the Cleveland Cavaliers wrapped things up in a surprising sweep of the Toronto Raptors last night at the Q in Cleveland. The Cavaliers won 128-93 to sweep the Toronto Raptors, as I mentioned before. LeBron James continues to dominate this postseason. He finished things off with 29 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists. Kevin Love also chipped in with 23 points and 6 rebounds. DeMar DeRozan was ejected late for a flagrant 2 foul on Jordan Clarkson in the third quarter. He was ejected with only 13 points and having a minus 29 on the plus-minus stat sheet. Kyle Lowry, your boy, Wreck-It Ralph, 5 points on 2 for 7 shooting. So, with the Cavaliers heading to another Eastern Conference Finals, they face a matchup between the Boston Celtics, who could very well wrap things up the next game and go to the Eastern Conference Finals to play the Cavs, or they could play the Sixers. Who do you think has a better chance at beating the Cleveland Cavaliers as they're rolling right now?
Golden State Warriors.
So you're just dismissing any team that's going to make the Eastern Conference Finals?
I've dismissed this since November. I've dismissed this whole East Coast fucking lineup.
You're like a savant because you called the dominance that Cleveland would show in this
like
Eastern Conference.
With Boston. You're outmatched in this in the next round. Pretty sure you're gonna get there. But if you just see, if you seen what Cleveland did in this round, where they put LeBron to the 4 and made Toronto try to adjust to their small ball, then you have to take out Ibaka. Now you don't have no presence when LeBron does decide to go to the lane. The same thing's gonna happen next series. Like, LeBron's going to be at the 4. Al Horford's going to have to guard him. So either they're going to have to take out the center or Al Horford, or just get barbecued. But they're going to make sure that one of your bigs is sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the benefit.
So you think that was the key for the Cavaliers to kind of open things up after they struggled in the first round against Indiana, is the fact that you just space the floor with shooters and let LeBron
just space the floor with shooters, and LeBron is going to, when he decides to say, I'm going to take over, the lane is open for him. And if you even think about flinching, JR's hitting those shots now. Korver is hitting his shots now. Love is doing what he's doing.
Love is doing his thing. Cap, who do you think has a better shot at taking down the Cleveland Cavaliers?
None of them. I'm finally on board with him because I'm ashamed and embarrassed that I picked the Raptors in 7. And look at this. Look at the no-show job that they authored the last couple of games.
And this guy puts money on these games.
complete cowardice on the side of the Raptors, just literally having no effort whatsoever in the second half.
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan getting bounced and literally just giving up after halftime.
They quit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
If we, without any bias, if I had to say, all right, did they quit or not? Mm-hmm. And then I look at what Russell Westbrook did, elimination game.
Yeah.
39 shots.
He's going out blazing.
DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, that's what we should have seen tonight. You go out you try to will your team. There was no mode for survival.
Yeah.
There was no instant to survive.
DeRozan wasn't even around for the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
He got ejected late in the third.
Yeah. It's not like he was intending to get ejected.
Well,
But you can't blame him if he's not there in the fourth quarter.
There's something.
Good point.
There's something to that. Like you mentioned before, Kevin Love, 23 points. It seems like throughout this series, the supporting cast for the Cleveland Cavaliers, SNL and Donald Glover made the skit about the Cavaliers. There's no supporting cast for LeBron James. Do you think they finally stepped up in this series and could beat somebody that could be, a factor going forward?
I mean, this is just a series where they adjusted offensively. They adjusted, offensively to help the rest of the team. LeBron's going to get his, but because he looks for everybody, if no one is leaving anyone.
I thought you made a good point in the green room. You said LeBron plays in the playoffs for longevity. He wants to get his other guys involved for championships.
Like, if they wanted to sweep Indiana, they could have. Mm-hmm. But how does that help the rest of that team out?
Yeah.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Well, I'm perplexed by that, so explain this.
Okay, the fact that when he wanted to score 40, he did it, right? Won 3 games, scoring 40. So to let you know, if he would have just did that the whole 4 games, they would have swept.
But why play the extra 3 games?
But the fact that he already knows he's going to the championship, the more games we play, the more you guys get to shoot. Like, I need you. Like, he needs his players more than we think he does. Yeah. He needs Kevin Love hitting shots. He needs J.R. Smith hitting shots. He needs these guys to perform. So he's never going to give up on them.
So you're low-key accusing LeBron of point shaving is what you're saying.
Not point shaving.
I mean, essentially,
but
throwing games.
No, but that's what I'm saying. If you know you're going to win, like he's trying, if you're down 20, he'll sit there and keep trying to force passes to this guy for this guy to hit shots.
Yeah.
And in this series, he didn't have to because there's no big man down there. So when he decided to draw, they all.
Yeah. I still think it'd be more beneficial to give LeBron more rest and just sweep it.
Oh, they got rest now.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, but still, you could have again. You still have 3 extra games, than you maybe actually needed to have against the Pacers.
And all 3 of those games they needed to close out this series.
All right.
Hey, and considering how dominant they've been, they showed the last 4 games, they might have another sweep on their hands.
I guess you can't argue with the formula.
I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But looking forward to tonight.
4-1.
Gentlemen sweep, like I said. Okay,
4-1.
Okay, we'll get to those Eastern Conference Finals predictions another time. But we have to look forward to the Western Conference playoff matchups that will take place tonight. The first game of the night is the Utah Jazz taking on the Houston Rockets in H-Town. The Houston Rockets have a 3-1 series lead as the Jazz look to stave off elimination. Chris Paul led the Rockets in Game 4 with 27 points, 12 assists, and 6 rebounds. It was his birthday, and you kind of said that the Houston Rockets trashed the locker room with Chris Paul.
It did. There was cake all over the locker room.
Okay, the fact that you know that is impressive.
I was about to ask, were you there?
Yeah, how does he?
Hell no, you wasn't here.
You read a few things, you watch a few things, you see some.
Okay. Clint Capela had a playoff career high of 6 blocks. James Harden kind of struggled from the field. 24 points, had 8 turnovers, 8 for 22 from the field, 1 of 7 from three-point line. Donovan Mitchell, after Game 4, had this interesting quote as he was heading to the locker room.
That's what he needs to fucking MVP.
If Game 4 was proof of what Houston could do you think the Utah Jazz have any chance in Game 5 to stave off elimination and force a Game 6 in Utah?
I mean, we're making it seem like James Harden went 2 for 50 here.
So you're saying 8 for 22?
I mean, he still had 24 points. He still was a dominant force in the game. But because of his performance, that was a game Utah should have won. Mm-hmm. That was a game to steal. If you're going to steal a game, that was a game to steal while James isn't performing up to his 41, his 45-point, type of nights.
Utah cut it to about 5 points before Houston blew the lead back up above double digits as Chris Paul continued to show his old ways and dominate on his birthday, which was pretty impressive for the old guy, considering what his age is now.
I'm starting to question.
Oh, boy.
I'm starting to question the intelligence of athletes today and the coaching staffs.
What do you
so
mean?
I've been watching Mitchell get off.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell
Get off.
Scored 25 points in Game 4.
And I don't get how you don't adjust as a coach. And
Mike D'Antoni doesn't adjust, or Quinn Snyder?
Not Utah, but OKC didn't realize it. They didn't adjust. You just let this kid go off on you this whole time. Mm-hmm. And then D'Antoni, this could have been a sweep if you'd have just actually watched film. And the film he's a 2-foot jumper. Mm-hmm. 6'4", he can only dunk off 2 feet. He can't dunk off 1. He can't jump. He can barely elevate off 1. So the fact that you're not just pushing this kid right, and if you looked at Capela's blocks, they're all coming off of
Him jumping off 1 foot.
Off him jumping off 1 foot, he cannot elevate. So the fact that you have not just pushed him right, push him off his jump shot, let him go right, have Capela stand there. He cannot elevate enough to get over anybody. And the fact that you're not doing this shows me that you're not actually fucking watching film. Because you can pick it up in fucking 2 games to realize when he goes left, he can bounce off he can bounce off 2. But if he goes right, he can, and he has to jump off 1 when he goes right, and he cannot elevate off his right foot.
Yeah, but in general, the Rockets have played pretty good defense in this series.
In the series as a whole, but he's the only guy that can score.
Well, Ingles went off.
I mean, Ingles can go off, but this is the only guy that they're thriving off of. That can really will them to wins. Mm-hmm. So the fact that you're not really shutting him out just shows that I don't know what you guys are doing.
Yeah. So do you think the Houston Rockets wrap things up?
I mean, they're going to wrap things up, but playing like this to show you that you're not adjusting to the game plan or not seeing little things like this shows me that Golden State is going to whoop that ass. Golden State is going to, because it's about adjustment, shutting things off. That's important to shutting you down. Like knowing Steph Curry is a faster shooter when he's moving left than he is moving right. Like you have to know these details in the playoffs. You have to know them. So the fact that you're letting this guy go any way he wants, no, sit on his left hand, make him go right, make him jump off that. Knowing when he goes right, if you get in front of him, he's going to spin. Yeah. Like I don't even play anymore, and I can tell you his whole fucking game.
Don't leave us to become a head coach, okay? Don't leave us here to become
I'm not dealing with them. But I'm just saying, like, it's adjustments. You have to take off flaws. Like you play against LeBron. You should know on the left side, step back jumper or the 3 jumper. You should know what he's going to do on the left side. That's what you should know in the playoffs because little details like that
make all the difference.
Makes a difference in winning something.
Cap, do you think the Rockets wrap things up in H-Town for Game 5?
Rockets are 12-point favorites in H-Town, but I'm going to say, in the words of Lee Corso, closer than the experts predict. But they close it out.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming home, stir fry shit up at home. If that made any sense.
My man said it's going to be closer. It's like you're picking Houston. Just go with Houston.
Houston's winning.
He's going to take Utah for
are they covered? That's the other question.
He's going to take Utah for this
100-plus episodes, and we know what each other think. So while the fellas here think Houston will move on to the Western Conference Finals, the second game of that night will also have Western Conference Finals implications because the Golden State Warriors look to wrap up their series against New Orleans Pelicans. They're up 3-1 as things is back in Oakland. The Pelicans struggled in Game 4 while Kevin Durant scored 38 points in 36 minutes on 15 for 27 shooting. Stephen Curry also chipped in with 23 points as he continues to get back in his form. Even though it seems like he's not missed anything, he's continued to kill this playoff. Anthony Davis, 26 and 12 on 8 for 22 shooting. Rondo and Mirotic struggled from the field, 3 for 17. Do the Pelicans have any chance? Of course they have a chance, but do you think they beat?
No, they had a chance when Steph wasn't playing.
Yeah.
That was the best chance we're giving them.
So you
once Steph came back, it was going to be a wrap for them anyway because you have 3 guys who can put up 50.
Yeah.
You're not talking about a guy who can score 20, 40. 50. You have 3 guys that can score 50. Yeah. You shut one down, both of those guys can score 60 that night. And that's the problem with Golden State. You have too many guys who are actually dominant if one of them is off the floor. Yeah. With Pelicans, you have Rondo who's going to, push out 20 assists.
Yeah.
But those 20 assists is going to the same 2 scorers. It's not like those 2 scorers are going to score 40 and then his 20 assists is going to generate to someone else.
Yeah.
So the fact that Rondo's 20 assists is going to the same 2 players, it really doesn't counterfeit. You got 3 guys that's trying to score 30 a night.
Yeah. What do you think the Pelicans have any chance to send things back to New Orleans for Game 6, or is it wrapped up?
No, wrapped up.
It's wrapped up?
Yeah, another worthless game back in Golden State for Game 5, the way we saw with the Spurs in the first round.
Yeah. So I guess
Warriors are 11.5-point favorites.
Yeah.
Take the Warriors.
So real quickly, you guys predicted. So we obviously predict a Houston Rocket and Golden State Warriors Western Conference Finals. Does that series go 7 games? No.
Not
if Houston continues to play defense like they've been playing.
Not even defense, just
they kind of see.
It's the little things that matter to me. Like I know I didn't win championships and all that stuff, but breaking down plays and all that stuff, I understand very well. and the show that D'Antoni, the reason his teams struggle in the playoffs because he doesn't adjust well.
Yeah.
I just want to see if Steve Kerr runs out the Hampton 5 death lineup again the way he did in Game 4, because they got off to that 17-4 start, set the tone, and just blew their doors off. So you would imagine that Kerr would go with what worked really, really well, in which he had never done previously, and again blew the doors off the Pelicans. So I would think he'd go with that lineup, but we'll find out.
But that's what I'm saying. It's one of those things where he has room to explore.
Yeah.
Because he knows this lineup is the lineup against Cavs.
Yeah.
You know, you got LeBron at the 4, so now you got to have KD at the 4. So he knows this. He has to introduce this lineup now because he's facing LeBron.
Like you said about LeBron and longevity, it seems like Steve Kerr's doing the same thing.
Yeah. All right, in other NBA news from Monday, Stan Van Gundy and the Pistons have decided to part ways. Time to judge whether SVG's early departure from Detroit is fair or foul. All right, so 4 years after SVG, Stan Van, Mr. Van Gundy, was hired for 2 jobs in Detroit. He is out. He had 1 year and $7 million left on his 5-year deal up in Detroit, and the record with the Pistons was 152 and 175 with only 1 trip to the playoffs in 2016 when they got bounced by the Cavs in the first round. And as president of basketball operations and coach, Van Gundy had full authority on player personnel and staffing, and he reportedly did not want to make changes that Pistons owner kind of didn't see eye to eye with, and it's probably the precipitous of why they decided to part ways.
Yeah.
But Stan is the architect, I should say, of Detroit's roster right now that is insanely capped out for the future. Remember, they traded for Blake Griffin earlier this season. They owe over $100 million in the 2019-2020 season, which is insane. And they pretty much have obviously failed to live up to expectations to what they expected for this season to be playoff contenders and all that stuff. And there's, again, some behind-the-scenes stuff that Woj reported on ESPN with the kind of power brokerage, if you will, between the ownership, GM, and Stan Van with his 2 jobs. So I guess to start things off, are we calling fair or foul to allow Stan Van Gundy to build up this team to the level that he did? And then pretty much say, you know, it's not working, let's part ways, and give this mess to another coach to come in and try to make the best of it.
Did you say build up this team?
Attempt to build up the team.
The same guy that drafted Luke Kennard over Donovan Mitchell? The same guy that refused 4 first-round draft picks for Stanley Johnson, I believe, in that draft, as Bill Simmons pointed out on Twitter? No, this guy was trying to save his job.
I'm not saying
he messed everything up for the next person.
Not every architecture makes a beautiful house, okay? There's some fuck-ups along the way.
I think it's a fair, because I played under Stan. So I know what he's capable of. I know what he does.
You know Stan Van very well.
I know what he does. And he was going to get fired at some point, no matter if they make the playoffs or don't make the playoffs, because who he is as a person, which I have to give him his credit. He knows who he is.
Yeah.
He just can't fucking change it. You know, he's an old Bobby Knight type of coach, so he wears you down. I mean, he wears you down on the court, off the court, in practice. With a young team, they're going to do everything in their power to appease him. But 3-4 years later, his time usually is about 3 to 4 to 5 years, they're done. They give up on him. So the team itself, I thought, was a playoff team. You know, at the beginning of the season, I thought they were a playoff team. They were playing like a playoff team.
Yeah, came out well.
They came out well. But over time, that negative force digs, and you just give the fuck up.
They did have injuries, though. Reggie Jackson was out for a while.
But you give up mentally.
That's always.
I know you laugh at that, but
he's always injured, and they paid him damn near max money.
But I'm saying, you mentally give up on Stan, and that's what this team does, and that's what they did. They gave up on him and just said,
Go ahead.
I say fair on the firing. I wrote down a couple names of coaches that I remember in recent memory who have extensive coaching history that decided to do the whole run basketball operations and wear 2 hats at once. Doc Rivers in L.A. Didn't work out. He essentially got demoted. Mike Budenholzer for Atlanta. Didn't really work out. He got demoted. Was Larry Brown running things in New York when he was? No? Okay. Phil Jackson. He tried to run things coming in with no executive experience.
But he wasn't coaching.
He wasn't coaching.
He was essentially
Jeff
coaching from was essentially his puppet.
Exactly.
Derek
he was
Fisher
coaching from the
Derek
stands.
Fisher was hired to be his puppet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm going to be a coach, I want to be an executive too.
It never works.
Because we got to remember, we don't have the same mindset.
Of course.
Right? So you're picking players that your mindset is, I don't, like,
that's
how
what you're supposed to work in tandem with your GM.
So what do I need you for?
You come from the Bill Parcells school of thought where it's like, if you're the cook, you need to be shopping for the groceries.
Yes. Like, I don't want you to just bring me some player and say, all right, make it work. And I'm like, who the fuck is this?
Again, what's the reason you don't want to coach? You don't want to deal with the players, right?
Because
how can you do both? How can you scout on the road? How can you scout the draft picks? Of course, you build a good team around you, but
it's your team.
There's so many things.
But the fact that it's like you're drafting players that I have no idea about, and you're saying, all right, here's lemons, make lemonade.
Yeah.
Like, no, I was cooking up orange juice in this motherfucker. you bringing me lemons? No, I want the fucking OJs, and that's what I want, and that's what ends up happening. So these coaches get fired because you don't want to lose your job because those picks was your picks,
right,
and they didn't pan out. You fire me instead, and that is the pointless part of being a head coach because they're the scapegoats of this. You're firing these guys because, you just drafted me 2 fucking lazy-ass scores. You gave me 2 guys who just gave up in the fucking playoffs, but I'm the one that's going to get fucking fired here because they didn't want to shoot.
But have we, and just not even in basketball, but sports in general, have we ever seen a successful head coach and executive at the same time? Who, Bill Belichick?
Mr. Pat Riley.
Okay, yeah.
But not for long. Not fair because Stan Van Gundy had that team.
In 06. And
he came down to coach the motherfuckers during that championship. And then once he won, he went back up.
To a degree, Pat Riley. All right, I will answer my own question. I'm going to call foul just because the Pistons right now are approaching Knicks level of debauchery and fuckery because they've gone through a ton of head coaches.
A ton. But that should be fair for you. Your Knicks aren't the laughingstock of the league anymore.
They're still laughing.
But I mean, I personally like Detroit's roster.
They should have been a playoff.
They just need a coach that's going to go over there and give them praise, give them confidence, give them the joy of playing basketball.
Where's that roster going? The roster's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere, so that they need a coach to come in there and say, all right, look.
But also, all right, it's another quick question. Fair or foul, they waited almost 5 weeks or, almost a month after the regular season ended to do this.
I think
when you potentially lose out on a few candidates like a David Fizdale who went to the Knicks.
I think it's foul for their own well-being, but I mean, if you
Like if I'm
clearly, yeah.
If I'm firing you, I don't give a fuck how long it is. Just get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
Pack you and your shit up out of here. You the dog, all that. Get the fuck out of here.
It's obvious that they like Stan. They just wanted him to take a lesser role, and he didn't want to take a lesser role. So maybe that was it.
But, okay, now think about that. That is Stan right there. When he holds his ground, he holds his ground. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, Stan, the guys are tired. I don't think you should practice. Fuck that. I already scheduled it. We're doing 3-hour practice today. Like, fuck.
And he's going to get $7 million not to work next year. So
that's impressive.
Yes.
He's going to be in TV talking about the team that he orchestrated the build. It's like, this team is trash.
This team is trash. Look at them guys.
Double dipping in 2019.
Hey, listen, finesse Hall of Famer right there. But a player that hopes to make waves in the NBA next season is Wendell Carter Jr. of the Duke Blue Devils. He's announced that he is entering the NBA draft. But his mother, Kylie Carter, has some interesting topics to say about NCAA basketball where she equated it to slavery. She was quoted as saying in front of NCAA officials, mind you, in front of a large group of white NCAA officials, when you remove all the bling and the bells and the sneakers and all that you paid for a child to come to your school to do what you wanted them to do for free, and you made a lot of money when he did that, and you got all those rules in place, they say he cannot share in any of that. The only other time when labor does not get paid, but yet someone else gets profit, and the labor is black and the profit is white, is in slavery. Kalia also said, the system feels like it was built this way intentionally. She was also quoted as saying, paying student athletes does not alleviate the situation. She said, that's not the solution. Don't get me wrong, it helps, but not without educating them on this process. So Wendell Carter Jr. obviously goes into the NBA with some, with a very outspoken mother who says, the NCAA is like slavery. Gil.
How long was he there?
Wendell Carter? Mm-hmm. One season.
How come it's always the one and dones that's complaining the most?
Because they want to jump straight from high school to the pros.
But that's what I'm saying. The one and dones are complaining the most on not getting paid. But I rented you for fucking 4 months of basketball. Now you're going to make millions.
But let me ask you this.
What is your complaint now?
But, so you're saying that...
There's valid complaints, though, because Wendell Carter, someone of his caliber who is going to be a lottery pick, is going to potentially lose out on anywhere from $3 to $5 million with base salary, NBA, and endorsements and everything like that. So you're losing out.
What is he losing out on?
Potentially $5 million of what he could have been paid this past season as an NBA player.
Yeah.
If he would have jumped straight out of high school.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not forcing you to come to my school.
But let's back up real quick, though.
The rules that says you have to come one and done, you came.
Yeah.
You're going to the NBA to make millions. So what what are you complaining about?
All right, well, let's see what Pierce says.
But real quick, I take it.
Like if a four-year player complains about, I understand this from a 4-year standpoint.
Yeah.
That my son went here for 4 years, he didn't get an education or education that's going to promote him in the business world where I can get that. But a one and done who's not going to school, who has no interest in the school, he's just here for TV, he's going to go average 12, 13 points, he's going to make millions for. I don't want to hear your mouth.
So I take it her comparison of the NCAA system to slavery is just, it makes no sense to you.
I mean, a slave that's about to get what, $15 million?
Yeah, I
for
think
2019.
I think slavery. I think she definitely missed. Slavery is not.
I would say slavery is the wrong analogy to make.
Yeah.
But there's definitely aspects of being indentured to a degree, and obviously you're highly limited in what you can do and your ability to. Well, you can't even profit. Period on what your likeness is and your skill set. So,
I guess the best term would be exploitation, maybe.
Yeah.
But you disagree with that?
I have a simple solution.
Okay.
When I'm giving you this scholarship, and I say, look, I want you to play on the basketball team. It costs $60,000 to get here. You can have a job. You can whatever job you want. You can have. You can do whatever the fuck you want, like any regular student. But it's going to cost you $60,000 or $80,000, whatever my school costs for every regular student. That's what it's going to cost you to get here. Now, how many kids, how many basketball players, football athletes actually get to college?
It would be the top tier guys because you have agents that will say, I will front you the money to come.
Now you're in violation because you got hired by an agent.
I'm not in a violation if you're making me pay for me to.
I'm making every other student pay.
Yeah.
I'm making every other student pay to come to college.
But they're not having to be under these restrictions that the NCAA governs amateur athletes.
You pay to come to college like everybody else. There's no restriction.
Okay.
You can do whatever you want.
Gil, and you know how it works.
You can get a job. You can get 2 jobs. You can get 3 jobs. Whatever.
And those top guys
Unfortunately, that idea completely blows up what the NCAA is all about and how it's been built up since the 40s and 50s.
But what I'm saying is, I know what it was built on and how it was built. But I'm saying if they say, all right, fuck it, we're going to make you pay for your own college education now. So if it takes you 3 years, 4 years, whatever, can you still make it to college? I mean, we're talking about free scholarships, lower GPAs, lower SAT scores to get into college. Like, come on, we're really dumbing this shit down for athletes. Like, if it's a 3.5 to get into the school, for a student athlete, you're coming in free with a 2.0.
But Gil, if I'm a guy like Wendell Carter,
really?
right, and I'm highly recruited, and I can go straight from high school to the NBA and make money immediately. Why are you forcing me to go to college?
I'm not forcing you. The NBA put a rule in. You can go to.
But you don't think the NCAA had something to do with this?
No, hey, go to overseas. Go to the G League. Do whatever you need to do, but don't come here and play for my school and eat all my free food and do it like come on.
So you think
what was this grade point average? What was his SAT score?
I'm unsure. But if you say,
I'm pretty sure it wasn't what everybody else is.
But Gil, if you're saying free food and an education at, let's say your number was 60,000, equates to these colleges signing a $1 billion plus TV deal with March Madness and TBS and the TNT and the Turner Networks, what's the?
If you paid,
and listen, paying athletes may not be the solution.
You paid $60,000 to go to school.
Right.
I'm dumb as a box of crayons.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I got in. You got in with a 1,500. Yeah. I got in with an 820. All right. 820 2.0.
Yeah.
It's fucking an SAT.
That's a great score.
820. That's all you need to get in to have the. And I'm on TV every day shining.
Yeah.
And I'm complaining about I'm not getting paid to do. What as a regular student? What the fuck are you thinking about? That dumbass motherfucker is gonna get a job way before me. That idiot right there. The motherfucker who says, who don't know they, there, or that.
They have a truly unusual skill set.
Yeah.
But why are we...
I have a skill set too. I'm bright as shit.
But why are
I'm smart as a motherfucker. That's my skill set.
You are an 18-year-old in any other endeavor out in America. You are a genius when it comes to music.
Yeah.
There's no reason why you can't start making money off your genius at 16, 17, 18 years old.
Exactly.
But in America, under the NCAA system that we have, with participation from the NBA and the NBA Players Association, you are not allowed to make the money that you are rightfully or deserve it of.
Yeah. And you go to college. You go to college to earn a living. So why?
So how about the doctors? The guys who are going to be doctors, they're not going to get paid until they actually become a professional.
There's some paid internships.
They are?
Yeah.
While they're in college?
Yeah.
No, I thought interns.
There's paid internships.
You can get an internship, summer league basketball. Paid at the YMCA.
No,
I'm just saying, why are we, like...
You do a paid internship and you...
I don't want to hear... I personally don't want to hear this from one-and-done parents, one-and-done athletes. You're coming in here, it's just like All-Star Weekend, fucking Memorial Day weekend. You're going in there, you're renting a fucking Bentley, you're looking good for the fucking hoes out there, you're picking up whatever you need to do, you're dropping the fucking Bentley off, and you're going fucking back home to your fucking amazing life, while all the girls you done banged fucking left with nothing.
Wow.
That's what this is. You're coming into college, you're fucking taking up a space for some bright student. You're one and done, making millions, talking about, oh yeah, I was like a slave there. Yeah, and my fucking Rolls Royce. Like, shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here.
That story sounded very personal. So I think that was...
No, it's not personal. It's just, I'm personally sick and tired. Like, for a 3-year, 4-year done student, like, I get it.
But Gil,
like,
what about,
like, give him a job, let him sign autographs. I get it.
But the education aspect does not align to what these players are bringing the value to the organization and to the university. Look at the University of North Carolina scandal where they were enrolling their football players into fake courses and fake classes. Half of these guys were playing 4 years and couldn't even read.
Okay,
So they shouldn't get anything. So when their 4 years is done and they're ineligible and they have to go on with the rest of their lives, rather than them being able to lay on an annuity or some type of stipend from the university for everything they contributed, they're just stuck broke, have no education to show for it.
Or they can just find out where you went and then just go take your job from
They ain't taking this job.
because your boss was a fucking alumni. How about that?
I mean, no, you're legit with that. You're legit with that.
I just
It's not, again, that's
come on, look.
not inaccurate.
Look, Shaquille O'Neal got a degree. Do you think he went to class?
Probably.
No. He wrote that check. Like, that's the one that's the funniest one right there. Like, when someone asked me, you gonna go back for your degree?
Yeah.
Jordan went back, though.
Like, excuse me, I made $200 million. I don't know what degree in college that I'm gonna actually go to school for that's gonna get me the same $200 million.
Michael Jordan went back to school.
He did?
Yeah.
There's pictures of him in class doing fucking homework.
Yeah.
Yeah. Show me.
Gambling?
Show me everyone who got a degree.
He made a promise to his mama.
Yeah. Usually when someone goes back and get a degree,
Your boy Antoine Jameson went back to college, right?
when they go back to get a degree, it's usually for their parent because they were the first one to do it.
What about your boy
I
Antoine?
get that.
He went back.
Look, listen.
Did you see him in class?
I want to see the class. I want to see him in class doing the fucking work.
Can I ask you one last question?
Ask.
What would it take you to go back to Arizona?
It won't take me shit.
What would you have to be offered to go back to Arizona and get your degree?
Apple martinis.
What I'm saying is, I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I have a lot of money in the bank. Okay.
I'm familiar, yes.
I don't know why I'm gonna waste my fucking time getting some degree that I'm not gonna use anyway. If I want to be a doctor or a lawyer, I'm gonna call my lawyer up and say, hey, fucker, internship. All right? I want to learn under you. And he's going to say, yeah, you know why? Because I paid him a lot of money to win a lot of cases for me, okay? And that's what he's going to do pro bono. That's what he's going to do.
Is that Dr. Fucker or is that Fucker Esquire? What's the definition?
I'm just saying.
Right.
You got money, you can do whatever the fuck.
All right, we're gonna have to agree to disagree on this
All
subject.
that money in the bank, he still owed me $60,000 from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're still.
Oh, man, you and the fake 60,000.
60,000.
You like Cap. You like Cap.
Listen, I keep a ledger.
No, you're like Cap when you
60,000.
play both sides of the spectrum.
Says the guy that had Patriots crossed out and said Eagles on his shirt. So
Complete
yeah,
fraud,
I'm
but
doing
that's
exactly what y'all do.
All right.
Who you got? Houston or Utah?
For the series or for game
for this
5?
game. For game 5.
I told you, I like the Rockets to advance, but I think it's going to be closer
So he goes both
than
ways.
the experts think. So give me the Jazz plus 12 or the Rockets advance.
so Cap lost me my $60,000 is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
Cap lost 6,000.
Completely inaccurate. All right, moving on. You guys watch Game of Thrones?
No.
Yes.
All right, so one person on this panel watches Game
Why
of
are you
Thrones.
judging me? I can't get into dragons and that. I can't.
That's the shit.
All right, but I bring yeah. All right, so you're the only one to watch this, but I bring this up because the Mountain is now deemed the world's strongest man, and the Icelandic powerlifter and Game of Thrones actor Thor Bjornsson finally won the prestigious competition after years of competing. Bjornsson, who is 29, 6'9", and just a massive individual, has been a regular in the competition and had 3 second-place finishes and 3 third-place finishes over the past several years. He had a controversial finish in 2017, but finally broke through you in the most recent competition with events that you've probably seen on TV, like old ESPN clips, and I think that it airs on CBS now, of like the 20-ton truck pull, the loading race, which is where athletes race around a 50-foot course packing 5 objects weighing up to 164 kilograms apiece. I have no idea what the hell the conversion chart is because I can't do math. And also the Atlas Stones, which is one of those guys hoist them up on their shoulders and run around with them. So the question I have for you regarding the mountain, do you view powerlifters as elite athletes?
I just don't know what the payoff is. It's like, hey, I can lift this stone. Then what? You know what I'm saying? Like, then what?
Yeah, I don't know how this strength equates to the TV show. Unless he does his own stunts.
It's like, I don't know.
Moving mountains and picking up dragons and shit. This is pointless. Like, how much, how many injections did you need to do to go from third place to first place? Like you had to up it up from 2007. Like, I did 62 injections of steroids. I need 75 this year to win.
I don't know. I don't know what the drug testing policy is with the strongest.
Let's be honest. Like, there's no fucking human picking up fucking monster trucks.
If he's 6'9" and can pull a 20-ton truck, you need to be playing left tackle.
There was that video of Odell pulling that truck when he was sitting down.
But he had a midget and the driver just on the gas. So, like, we all know that trick.
All right,
I seen a dude do it with no legs. Impossible.
Okay.
Impossible.
Right,
think about it.
Let's get back on track here. All right, let's get back on track here. You watched the show, so you actually seen this guy on the show. Are you not at all impressed with winning and doing what he did in any way, shape, or form?
What are we gonna do with this guy?
You're hand waving the strongman competition.
Like Kevin Hart said it. Well, you need to be that strong for working at T-Mobile.
That's real tough. That's real tough.
Like, I mean, half of these guys, come on, when they're not doing this competition, where are they working at?
Yeah.
He's an actor. He's an actor.
But where are you taking this strength? Like, what are you using it at?
No, you're not using it for nothing.
You need to start a moving company. Just lift refrigerators out of a house just by yourself.
Like Venice Beach, all just shredded for no fucking reason.
I want to give a shout out to him though, because in the competition he was wearing bread ones.
Okay.
So
okay. Yeah, that's impressive.
I mean, he finally beat his nemesis. Oh, beating the nemesis. The Capitals finally beat their nemesis.
Pittsburgh Penguins?
Yep.
You watch hockey?
No, not at all. But
update popped up on your phone or something?
No, just remember nemesis. They overcame.
Okay. Hey, it's nice.
What do they call him? The Mountain?
The Mountain, yes.
It's like he had a Tourette's moment with hockey. It's like hockey just came out. I like it. Hey, listen.
Like, how much steroids do you really think they got to take?
A lot of steroids.
Like, who wants to be that fucking strong? Who the fuck wants to be that strong?
You not feeling it?
You wouldn't get jazzed up knowing you could crush anyone's skull?
Yeah.
Unless I'm going to be crushing skulls. No, I don't want the whole ideal of me crushing skulls just to be the thought.
You could probably be the most highest paid hitman in the world if you were that heavy.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to be that strong and that's like, yo, you can crush my skull, I really want to do it. Just shut up. Just woo.
That's how you crush your skulls?
That's my gift.
Yes.
The gift.
Like, I want to go to prison and just, hey, I think I can whoop everybody's ass. Like, I want to use this strength for a reason. So not to fucking eat vegan burgers and
stuff like that. Go be a bouncer at a biker bar.
So let's back up his thought, though. He wants to be the strongest man so he can go to prison and whoop everybody's ass.
So, I mean, use it for something because, just don't be fucking strong for just
and all of a sudden you give a shit about hockey.
Yeah, just out the blue.
I'm just saying, because he was in third place for the last 3 years and he finally got in first.
Talk about, okay, there's a segue.
Oh,
okay.
Right, yeah, we didn't get there.
Yeah, we didn't get there. You just came out of nowhere. It was like, hey, you know who advanced in the play?
No, I just say, who overcame their nemesis.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Y'all didn't hear me? You're making like I don't speak correct English.
No, you did not stutter.
Yeah, you didn't. Okay.
You guys just wasn't listening.
No, I heard you. Just need to confirm it.
That's all. But, fellas, that wraps up another edition of Out of Bounds. Obviously, my guy is going to leave here and go watch some more hockey. For Adam Caparell, Gilbert Arenas. What was it?
The Grand General, baby.
The Grand General.
Deja June.
Say it one more time for me.
Deja June.
Can you spell out in the Mandarin letters?
No. You gonna get that tattooed on you?
Yeah, you should get that tattooed on you.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just found out that I have a tattoo.
I'm Pierce Simpson. We'll see you tomorrow. This is Adam. Scroll.
It's supposed to say Arenas,
It doesn't say Arenas.
What's it say?
What's it say?
You didn't get it verified?
You feel victim?
I'm doing my my endorsements
Well, when you
for S63 Chinese company, right? So they're making me write my name in Chinese on the what's the name, and I'm looking at it like this don't look like the shit I had on my back. So I'm in the middle, cut, lifted my shirt. What does that say? I don't know. It's like just a bunch of letters that doesn't say Arenas. This nigga got me.
That's what happens when you have a guy named Terrence giving you tattoos and you're trying to have him translate. Duh.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Yeah, dog, this is my last name. No, that is not.
Oh my God.
That guy failed English that's doing your tattoo right now.
I was so hot.
Where'd you get that tattoo?
Arizona.